You're listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marci Persky. In this installment, we regret to inform you that the graphic feminist sex podcast has somehow eluded us. Also, that cute mascot scares the heck out of Marci, and a summer job that even a monkey can't do. I was looking at the interview that a major publication did with a very successful podcaster. And I don't get to have any opinion that isn't positive now about a woman doing a podcast because it looks like sour grapes. But I have noticed a trend, which is that women who want to talk extremely graphically about sex have huge fan bases who are women.
See that? Not me.
You want to dedicate an hour to this conversation, and
listen to it.
And so I feel a little old. Have you noticed that there's one physical trait that all these female graphic sexual podcasters seem to have in common? And I'll give you a hint. It is not their breasts. Each and every one of them seems to have like cheerleader hair down to her waist.
Extensions.
Oh, well, there's my naivete showing again. I tend to assume that the hair and the breasts are natural.
No.
It's the same hair that in porn movies guys will usually use like a bridle.
I wouldn't know, Sam, and I haven't seen that many porn movies in my life. Actually, I don't think I've seen a single one.
It's funny that you should say that. When I was first with the spousal unit, I thought I would be a modern contemporary girl and I would watch porn with him. And he said, I don't really watch porn. And I said, well, you have to. That's what guys do. And he said, no, really, I actually don't. I'm not into that. I said, well, let's rent something, because this was a long time ago and you had to rent something. I said, let's rent something and watch it, because I was going to be a modern, cool chick. And so we rented something and I laughed through 15 minutes of it. And I laughed in a very unsexy way, just to make it worse. The kind where stuff starts to come out your nose laughing.
Yeah.
And that's not sexy. And hearing
had a
you
similar
laugh.
idea. and this was on our Dish Network, way up in the top numbers.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, let's watch a porn movie. 2 minutes in it, we were both like, ew, ew, ew. That's all. And that's all we saw.
Yeah.
That was a good $15 spent. I tell you.
Well, there are perfectly nice people who are into this. Women too. I know women who watch it, but I guess you either do or you don't.
Especially like looking at some of these people, like let's see, John Leslie.
I don't even know who this is. I have no idea.
He looks like a gorilla. He's got arrested for sexual abuse.
Oh.
Of like 1 million people.
Oh.
But he was like the number one guy. And when I was in New York a long time ago, they had a channel. And it wasn't a cable channel. It was a regular channel. And all it was like naked people sitting around having a talk show. And so I was flipping. And I was like, what? And they're sitting in chairs talking normally, 100% naked. And this guy was on it. The host was someone named Robin something or other. I mean, we're talking, this was a long time ago, and I don't even know if it's on TV anymore.
Probably not.
But I was glued to it because it was the most bizarre, weird thing. I mean, they talk about politics and talk about everything else, but not even a sock on.
Were they conventionally good-looking nude people?
Oh, no. Not even close. We look better.
You keep well, that's not saying much. You keep ending up with nude people. That seems to keep happening to you. You go to a concert, you go to the beach, you keep winding up with the not so great looking nude people. How does that happen to you?
I think it's like the gods making me feel better about myself.
Well, how come the gods don't make me feel better about myself? I never end up with a bunch of nude people.
I don't know. Naked follows me. Naked follows me like bad coordination.
Well, I see we've wandered afar from my jealousy problem. The other problem I'm having with this case, people of the opposite gender, specifically the spousal unit, is that I'm about to have to admit to doing something that I made fun of him for doing. Do you remember when I told you he went to Puerto Rico with some cheap airlines?
This mini bag.
That's right. All he packed was a bike messenger bag. So I bought a cheap ticket to Toronto to visit the small cutie, and I'm just sort of taking it as a competitive event that I too can travel for 6 days with a shopping bag. And my argument is I don't need to pack as much stuff because I'm going to visit a family member who will have things like toothpaste and shampoo.
And clothes that will fit you.
No, that's the problem. So I've had to, I think I may be done in by modesty. I could probably do this if I didn't carry a robe with me, like a little, just tiny little robe. But I don't want to walk around in front of all his college roommates in a nightgown, a summer
Wow.
nightgown. So I have to pack a
I have
robe,
advice for that.
a
Get,
Ziploc bag, and a vacuum cleaner.
no, get dressed before you walk out of your room.
Yeah, well, there's that. But like, what if you have to use the bathroom in the middle of the night?
They're sleeping. You just run.
You think?
Yeah,
We'll have to
definitely.
see. Because my current plan is to just stuff things in Ziploc bags and sit on them till they shrink and then close them.
Good luck with that.
And now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I've turned into my husband. This is terrible. This is the worst. And I was talking like 2 weeks ago about what I was going to bring to Toronto, and he said, "You have 2 weeks, and it's only one bag." And I said, "That's exactly why I'm planning it now."
Go to the Army surplus store on Belmont, which I'm sure is still there,
Nope,
and buy a backpack.
nope.
That's what we use when we're just taking one thing.
You can't
We,
bring a backpack like that. This is like it has to fit under the seat in front of you of their
ours
dinky little
fits.
plane.
It's soft. There's nothing hard on it. It's a soft backpack that you can smush,
We'll
and
see.
you just keep closing it. And then when you get to Canada, you have to buy your toothpaste and your
Well, I
deodorant.
don't need all that. He's got all that. I mean, I may smell like Old Spice, but I don't care. So here's what I
Backpack. There's my suggestion.
we'll see because this house is full of backpacks. I'm sure there's backpack, but I think that what my strategy will be to wear like a million clothes on the plane until I practically faint from heat exhaustion. And then I will get off the plane and rip everything off my body and stick it in the bag, which I'm sure
That
they've seen
sounds
people do.
uncomfortable.
I think they've seen people get on the plane like Russian doll sets. I'm pretty sure they have. I mean,
In the winter, maybe, but it sounds really, really uncomfortable
well, I'll
during
just do
summer.
it in the airport. I'll come to the airport on transit with my little summer nothing, and then I will pull out of my extra plastic bag 6 layers of summer nothings, stuff them all onto my body so that I look like a Cupid, not a Cupid. What are those little round dolls that like a
Yeah,
Russian
that's a
nesting
Kewpie
doll?
doll.
Cupid doll? I'm gonna look
Yeah.
like that. I'll get on the plane and then I'll strip, and they can't throw me off the plane once it takes off. They're screwed, and I'm screwed if I can't take all my stuff off. So
I think a backpack is a much easier solution.
we'll
I'm
see.
sorry, but
We'll just
I'm
see.
sticking to that.
We'll just see. And then, of course, there's the problem of not being able to bring my purse that holds everything. No purse.
There's no overhead on your plane.
Yeah, you pay. Well, you have to. I don't think so. I think it's a smaller plane. You have to pay for everything but one bag. I'm telling you, this is like a. Some people are into crossword puzzles. Some people are into Sudoku or whatever the hell that puzzle is called. And some people, apparently, this person are now going to succumb to the I can get on this cheap ticket flight without paying $40 for an actual carry-on bag. I can do that.
The airline that we fly, your first suitcase is free.
That's not the airline that goes to Toronto.
That sucks.
And so we're trying this cute little airline that is adorable that everybody says is a pure delight.
It's adorable. Doesn't have big eyelashes.
It has a cute mascot. How did you guess? I'm always a sucker for a cute mascot.
Yeah, I'm scared of mascots. Sorry.
That's
We're back to
right.
the
That's
people in
right.
costumes thing that just like makes me want to run the opposite
It
way.
never weighs, it never, I'm sorry, it never wears a costume. It's only on their website and literature, and it's really
That's
an
good.
adorable little mascot. That's right, I'd forgotten about your fear of mascots.
Yeah, it's why I can't eat at Jack in the Box or Burger King.
Now, this,
Besides the fact that it's not really. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna say anything bad because they might want to sponsor us, but I'd just like to point out to them that both of their mascots are really, really, really scary.
Jack in the Box, and what was the other one?
Burger King.
I don't think they even use that king anymore, do they?
Oh yeah, they do.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I
He
see a lot
makes
of
me
their
cry from
ads.
fear.
Really?
Yes.
I always thought Ronald McDonald was really, really frightening.
Well, he's just a clown.
I think clowns are very frightening.
Well, I don't like clowns either. And even though I know a lot of clowns,
Well, it's just how
not
they
with,
behave in their
without makeup.
personal life is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
But yes,
those wigs and having your face obscured and then making fun
yes.
of your physical pain. I think it's the making fun of physical pain thing that bothers me.
Well, Eve actually came up with a good point the other day when we were watching something and a commercial came on for that big place where I won't go, where there's lots of rides and people in really heavy suits and it's very warm. And she was wondering what it smelled like inside there.
I am lost. A place with lots of rides and people in like suits?
Yeah, it start, in
Oh,
costumes.
costumes.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, costumes.
Yeah, I'm sure
And
it's terribly
it starts
smelly in
with a
there.
D.
Yeah, okay, I gotcha. I just thought the suit thing. I was trying to imagine like a
Yeah.
bunch of
I can't imagine how bad that must smell. Wearing it day after day after day.
you like imagining how bad things must smell.
I do. I do.
That's like a favorite thing of yours, how bad things must smell. Because it started with your kid who put the soccer goal cone on his head and it hasn't stopped since.
That's true. Anytime that something is questionable in the fridge, Frankie will bring it over to me and say, "Smell this," and I will either tell him it's good or toss it.
Well, that's fair. I mean, you're going to eat it, but you're not going to eat a costume from a amusement park. You can just decide that it smells terrible and avoid it.
That's true too.
No, nobody's going to poison you with a costume head. That doesn't matter how bad it smells. If you need to earn a living by putting it on, you'll do it. Speaking of needing to earn a living, we are watching in real life the adjustment in wages where people have not caught up to what you actually have to pay, or the fact that some jobs that look easy actually take maybe some skill or some training or even perhaps half a brain.
Yes.
I took the spousal unit out for dinner, and it's clear that every single person working in this restaurant has absolutely no idea. They're trying really hard. They're really trying hard. 3 different people came. Somebody came in to see if we had a menu. Somebody came and gave us a menu. Somebody came and took the menu away with our order. And after that, somebody we'd never seen before came and said, "Can I get you a menu?" Waiting tables is harder than it looks. Nobody thinks that there's anything to anybody's job. Everybody thinks, oh, well, a monkey could do this. I can't think of too many jobs that a monkey could do, because if a monkey could do it, they'd have a monkey do it.
Monkeys fling poo. If you need someone to fling poo,
There's a job.
there you go. If you have a neighbor you don't like, you rent a monkey, put it in a cage, and let it fling poo over in your yard.
Brilliant employment, full employment for monkeys there. If you've made it this far, chances are you've been enjoying Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. In which case, you might also like my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. You can find that at your neighborhood independent bookstore or on Amazon. Marci and I really appreciate your good reviews wherever you care to leave them. Your kind words help the podcast grow. Thanks.